Hey guys, John V here from Phone Reno. Right now you're watching our video comparison between the LG G Flex and the Nokia Lumia 1520. So what we have here are two phablets vying for supremacy, one being Android, the other being Windows Phone. We've compared several in the past, but this time we're taking it to a larger scale because these are two phablets, respectable phablets in the space right now. We know that the Lumia 1520 continues to impress people for its low on-contract price point, but then again, there's some innovative qualities attached to the LG G Flex. So let's find out how they compare right now. Because no kidding, these two handsets borrow many characteristics from previous devices. The G Flex looks very much like a larger size version of the G2, and the Lumia 1520 again borrows from many Lumias past. We're going to give the Lumia 1520 the points for having the more stylish design between the two. That's in part to its tapered look combined with the color options that are available with it. Whereas with the LG G Flex, it's unique for its shape, the curved design, and something unconventional, and it's a departure from what we see out there. So with that curved design, not only does it give it some flexing abilities, which is very sturdy and gives it a lot of tensile strength, but it also provides for a more comfortable feel in the hand. It just contours our hand properly, more ergonomic and comfortable in comparison to the heavier Lumia 1520, which doesn't help when its corners are rather pointy. It's pretty neat and cool that there's a plastic display in the LG G Flex, but when it comes to pure quality, we get more out of it with the Lumia 1520's panel. The 6-inch 720p plastic OLED display in the LG G Flex, very unique. For starters, it's almost shatterproof just because we're able to actually flex the device, flatten it out, and there's no damage incurred to the display whatsoever, which is fantastic. And the curved design really gives it a distinctive look. However, it's not as sharp as the 6-inch 1080p IPS LCD panel in the Lumia 1520. Not only does it deliver some sharper looking details, but it also proves to be better when it comes to outdoor visibility. Taking a look around their trims, we'll find that they have some things in common. For example, they have micro USB ports for charging data connectivity. They have various microphones for noise cancellation. You have 3.5mm headset jacks. With the Lumia 1520, its power buttons are actually its power button and volume controls are placed on the right edge. You also have a dedicated shutter key for instant access to the camera, and you also have a micro SD card slot with the Lumia 1520 to increase its storage capacity. With the LG G Flex, its power and volume controls are placed in the rear, a little bit unconventional, but after a while it becomes second nature. And it's worth noting that it features an IR blaster, which basically transforms it into a universal remote. These two are packing some monster-sized cameras. With the LG G Flex, it's a 13-megapixel autofocus camera in there, whereas with the Lumia 1520, it has a larger 20-megapixel pure-view camera, and as you can tell, it juts out a little bit, but again, that's due to the sensor size. This shouldn't be new for some of you folks just because we compared several Android devices against Windows Phone. So with the LG G Flex, it's running LG's UX UI, which is running on top of Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean, and the Lumia 1520 packs the Windows Phone 8 with the GDR3 update. We'll admit, Windows Phone 8 continues to have a better looking design language. With its presentation, it just has a stylish appeal, just like the actual physical design of the Lumia 1520. It really stands apart for its start screen, which is very dynamic. Whereas with the LG G Flex and its Android experience, it just still looks a little bit cartoony, but the nice thing about it, it's just a little bit more comprehensive than what Windows Phone has to offer. For example, even though that the two handsets have pretty much the same implementation with multitasking, it's actually the LG G Flex that take things a bit further with its various Q-Slide applications, its slide-aside feature, and its latest one, Dual Window, which allows us to simultaneously use two apps on top of one another, so it gives us more of a multitasking experience rather than app switching. Furthermore, we like how notifications are handled with the LG G Flex, just because with the notifications panel, it's a centralized area where we could have everything in full view at any time. But with the Lumia 1520, it could be a little bit of a messy process trying to track down all those notifications, just because they're all populated here on the start screen with the respective live tiles. So sometimes you gotta search a little bit just to find them all. Fortunately for these two, they're powered by Qualcomm's quad-core Snapdragon 800 processor coupled with the Adreno 330 GPU and 2 GB of RAM. Essentially, the result is just a very responsive performance with pretty much every operations, both simple and even more intensive stuff like 3D gaming, they're able to handle with ease, but we just find there's a little bit more snappiness associated with the performance of the G Flex. Surfing the web is a breeze with both of these handsets, made better with the addition of course 4G LTE connectivity. You have some very fast page rendering and also smooth navigational controls. The only difference here is just the higher resolution of the Lumia 1520's display. It just provides for sharper and more crisp looking text when we're zoomed out. Whereas the LG G Flex's music player looks a little bit too ordinary, we prefer the more modern design look of the Lumia 1520's music player. Now, as far as the audio quality with the respective speakers, when we hold them in our hands, the Lumia 1520 produces a more commanding tone, but when we lay the G Flex flat on its back, it's able to actually amplify its audio output so it matches the 1520. Both are more than equipped to playing high-definition video, especially when you have gigantic displays, which makes it even more ideal, and they also support a wide array of codecs right out of the box. No worries folks, these two take some amazing looking photos. We have the 13 megapixel camera of the G Flex versus the higher count 20 megapixel pure view camera of the Nokia Lumia 1520. Now, when it comes to outdoor shots where it's very sunny and lighting's ample, they take pretty much the same quality photos, but the only difference here is just details. While the G Flex's camera is able to capture a great deal of detail, better than some other high-end devices out there, but the Lumia 1520 is just able to inch out a little bit more. Now here's a perfect example, and this is the only differentiator between the two. So we zoom in, we could kind of tell that it's a little bit hard to read out here with the G Flex, but with the Lumia 1520, we could see how much sharper it is. Under lower lighting conditions, we just noticed that the G Flex photos tend to be a little bit brighter than that of the Lumia 1520 due to the longer exposure, but there's a compromise made in the fact that its shots tend to be a little bit more hazy looking. The Lumia 1520 might have the slight advantage when it comes to still image quality, but when it comes to 1080p video recording, we prefer the quality put out by the LG G Flex just because the visuals with the Lumia 1520 are just subdued and overall it looks rather underwhelming. To top it off, the G Flex has a nice smooth look with its capture thanks to its 60 frames per second recording, but the Lumia 1520 has a variety of different options. It could shoot at either 30, 25, or 24 frames per second. Without a doubt, we prefer the call quality put out by the LG G Flex more, primarily because its volume output is very strong and powerful, both from its earpiece and speakerphone, and it's nice also that voices are very clear and distinctive, whereas with the Lumia 1520, its earpiece is very weak, so we gotta really push against our ear to hear anything. If you're the kind of person that prefers an all-day battery life, you won't be disappointed by either devices. With fully charged batteries, they're more than equipped at handling even the high demands of a power user. So as the dust settles, we gotta go back to pricing because that's a key thing for many people. With the LG G Flex, you're gonna pay quite a bit to pick this one up. It's a $940 if you wanna import it, whereas with the Lumia 1520, if you're gonna pick it up without a contract, you're looking under $600, or with a 2-year contract, only $100. Either way, it's the Lumia 1520 that gives us the most bang for the buck, gives us a lot of value from its performance, what it features, its specs. There's a lot to like about this device and it works in a lot of different categories, but the LG G Flex is one of those devices for early adopters who want something new that's going to show up some new innovative qualities. This is the device. It's going to be able to, will get people talking and buzzing about it, but at the end of the day, the price point is very costly and it's an investment that most people are going to want to think about. So if you guys want to learn more about either devices, you could check out our website, phonearena.com. It's John V. Thanks for watching.